Thank you. Okay, so that brings us to item number 12. 11? Oh, thank you. I saw my name on this also. Okay. Item number 11, okay. And I think I'm gonna need Mr. Wood's help on this one for item number 11. Discussion on Alief board meeting broadcast. So there was a number of things that, questions that the board wanted to ask. And regarding this. You have some information you want to share with us first, Mr. Woods?
Yes, board, back in 2016 in the 84th legislative session, House Bill 283, we're going off a road because I can't find the papers now. House Bill 283 was passed and it changed Government Code 551, I think it's 128, added a section B1, and basically what it said was that districts of greater than or equal to 10,000 students had to videotape their board meetings and, of course, video record, not tape, video record their board meetings along with audio. And of course, we've been doing that for years, but the other part is that it had to be posted on the internet in a conspicuous spot and maintained within 7 days of the meeting, on all regular meetings, and any workshops or non-regular meetings in which action is votes would be taken. And that began January of 2016 is when the effective date was. So at the time, we had been already recording the audio portion of the video of the board meetings, and we had, as soon as we opened this board room in 2006, we had a camera installed up there and had been recording it for perpetuity along with an audio recording. Well, we just changed that process at that time, and Gerard started manning the booth over there and recording the meetings and putting it on our internal video server that we use for video, housing all kinds of video. And we built it into a website query on the board page that the video would be posted there, and everybody on the outside would have access to those videos without having to log in or identify who you are or anything. It's just open to the public. Along with the agenda document, so that it's a nice, handy, tidy little spot, and then board briefs, which are done by the PR department after board meetings also, which kind of summarize what happened at the board meeting, kind of like minutes. So that's been out there since January of 2016 when it was required. I think we average somewhere around like 29, 30 hits per video that's out there. Gerard,
if one person watched it 5 times, that's 5 hits.
that's correct. I think, there may be something that happened, in past years that was a big idea that people wanted. For instance, when we had a late arrival of selecting a principal, late in the year, and the staff didn't get to find out before they went home for the summer, well, they were eager to find out, or something like that. Might have caused a lot of people remotely in the summertime to sign on. I think that's where we had some peaks during the summer months. But typically, it's less than 30. Now, you add to that the fact that the video is, what, 2.5, 3 hours long? There's not a whole lot of people that are that interested in that much talk. They have specific ideas of what they want to hear or listen to or see in the video, unless you're just really a ruckus crowd and it's just entertaining. So what some districts have done is they've gone to a third-party indexing service to try and link agenda items to points in the video or bookmarks so you can jump right to the spot where that item starts talking about it. So I'm only interested in new administrators. on that, and the video would jump to that spot, so you wouldn't have to kind of scan and find out where it was. So I got some quotes from a service that does it for some neighboring districts to just get an idea, because right now, Gerard is just part of his other duties as assigned to come sit in here and record the video, and then he usually within a day posts it on the website. We have 7 days legally to do it unless there's a technical difficulty of some sort. Of course, this is without any public information request. It used to be, you wanted any of that recording, you had to put in a public information request. That's no longer there anymore. The video is available to anybody regardless if you're human or not, because it's coming in from a technology HTTP request. So bottom line is we're well within the intent and the spirit of the law. There is all kinds of additions and enhancements that can be made to that, from streaming live, whether it's using services like free services like YouTube, Facebook, and everything else, to which is pandering to a group maybe that's not in the room at the time, to enhancing the indexing of the videos and actually trying to put transcripts to the words that were spoken so it's searchable. I mean, there's lots of variations of what's happened all over the United States, not only in school districts, but in counties, cities, government, for transparency purposes. All that costs money. So it's just, what else do you all want to do? You all are well within the law, the board policy, the statute that was passed. So if you want to go farther, it's up to you, and we can go research other services and features available. One thing is clear though, is in the video they want it to be legible or not just garbage. So when I say a YouTube, Facebook, that's not to say that that's a real solution, because you have to try to make sure you have the network in place. You're not going to have constant technical difficulties, or then you're really not compliant. So.
Yeah, and you're not in control of those particular entities as well. So.
Ms. Williams, I know
you have to maintain it for 2 years. We've already got 3 years up. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I know when we had this discussion, or was brought up in the last meeting by a resident that brought this information to us and requesting us to consider it and look at it, which we have been talking about over the years. I know in the past we've, in the 11 years I've been here, we've looked at broadcasting it maybe at another campus, in case there's a group, maybe like a Taylor, they could go there, not have to be remotely there, so they have to come in here. Since there's never a seat open in these board meetings, as you can obviously tell by today, this is a typical board meeting of the amount of people that remain to the end of the meeting.
We can handle, but by the way, not to interrupt,
you can handle that.
We can handle multiple multicast on many campuses at once, internal in our network, no problem.
Right, and we do that with the graduation, the graduation and so forth. So I just know that, when we, Charles, you had mentioned, but you didn't really go to the dollar amount, but I know you provided some information about what that cost would be. It's about $750 a month,
Yeah, so
$9,000 to $10,000 a year to do that recording. But I don't know, and I was hoping that that resident was here tonight so we could maybe get more information, but we didn't, I'm not really clear. From what I'm understanding, and I've seen from other districts.
they don't put somebody in your room.
No. I know neighboring districts have, and I've seen on Facebook and so forth, and it's a video posting, and people from the community are chiming in and going, oh, I can't believe they're saying that, or he's a liar, or he's telling the truth, or yay teacher, or whatever, having those remarks, but then you can't respond back to them. So again, don't really know what's going on there and representing a leader. So what we're talking about here is only strictly video going out, and there's no interaction from the community to the videos.
You can do all that.
On that, those sites?
Maybe not that one. That one does.
Right, I know there's a lot of options. But I'm just saying, if we have over the years, we haven't had that much of a response to come into the meetings. We've had people that come and present, residents present, long-term residents present that about the meetings and wanting this or wanting that, or they're not getting information, but halfway, and I'm just being honest, this is a meeting of the board, so we're talking as a board, that they leave. They leave halfway through the meeting. And I'm not resented by it, I'm just saying that's just not a good thing to do. When they leave the meeting and don't hear the rest of the reports being put out by our departments, some good reports, then they leave. But now they can go home in the good comments of their own house, pull videos up, revisit it, relook at it. But if we're only getting 29 a month,
That's
and
$25 per person per month, that's $750.
yeah, and I don't think that's really happening to do that. So, in mine, I'm just speaking again for myself. I would not favor of changing or increasing unless we got an influx of community members, some stating saying, this is what we want, this is it. We had one individual say this, that did this, and made comments, well, if we don't do this, I'm going to say to walk out on students, which I think is wrong for students because they don't need a miseducation. It's a tough life out there. Miss a couple of days. Some of them may not graduate if they miss those days. And then secondly, is to deal with our business partners and tell them, oh, don't do business with Alief because they choose not to stream the videos, which again is not good for the business. It's going to cost us more to go out and find new vendors, pay more, and cost the district and taxpayers more money. So I'm just, I requested this to come up as an agenda item so we can discuss this. I'm not personally in favor of changing it. I think Gerard's doing a great job. We're getting the videos, and it's enough that's out there. We actually, in fact, today we have a resident videotaping, and we've had almost every board meeting in the last several years. Somebody has been in here videotaping and posting it on whatever social media site they choose, and it's okay, and we allow that, and there's no restrictions to that. So I don't really see why we need to spend extra money from taxpayers to do something that's satisfactory. But anyway, I'll get off my soapbox and I'll let you know.
Well, I agree with Mr. Moreno because with me, we are videotaping, we have the minute, we have every single thing. And if people are interested in, they can sit in the board, listen to the whole entire meeting, or go home and, the next day, look at it. Because to me, I'd rather use the money for education for the kid, like we just talked about pre-K and all that, because it's more effective than, you spend $9,000 or $10,000 a year to spend on live stream and things like that. I mean, to me, I don't like that too, because it costs more for the district, and like he said, for the taxpayer, and the money doesn't spend correctly. So I'd rather that money shift to pre-K, to program for the kid, or special education or something, rather than live stream video. Or put some, like, we said something about the segment, like certain thing to look into. I mean, if really somebody interested in, sit there and watch the entire thing. You don't need to go into that, or you can forward it or something. Yeah, so that's my opinion. Anyone else?
And final, one final. I forgot to put this. Final, our public relations department does a great job. Back in the day when everybody had flip phones and these big phones and you couldn't social media, I promise, we know 5 minutes after a meeting that a raise is given, that's on Twitter, that's Instagram, that's blasted out there. I think they're waiting with that button, ready to push that button, and just ready to let that go. So we get all that information. They get that information before we walk out this door in the evening. So.
Well, the only thing that I wanted to add to that is that this board has been a very transparent board. I think that when the decision came up, when House Bill 283 came about, the board that was present then was a thoughtful board. No one resisted the thought. No one said, oh my God. We know in many other districts, anything that's video, you have board members grandstanding. None of the board members here was afraid of being video recorded or that being posted to the public. We worked very hard to be a presentable, productive board. So it was kind of disheartening to me not to have a resident to come and say that, but a resident that has had a relationship with this board, not all of you, I know with me, So it was the first of my hearing that someone had displeasure with that thought. So I was really hoping that they had came back. I was hoping within the time that they announced what that they would do, that they would have reached out to someone who has always been in partnership with them. So that's disappointing to me, but bringing it back down to what it is, when the board came about and they said that they would be committed to doing what the law said that we needed to do, there was no resistance to that. The only question that came about was the quality. And of course, I'm just going to put it out here because it's going to be public video. I care about how I look, and people typically don't get the right light from me, so I'm kind of dark up here. So I'm just going to say that. But here's the other thing. We talked about the camera quality. I remember when you came with the proposal, we talked about the camera quality. We talked about the camera that we already had in the room. We talked about the fact that we wanted to be quality enough that people would know who these individuals were. We also did not push back when we got Gerard to come in to make sure that people who were presenting from a paper presentation could be well reviewed as well. I think that we've done a great deal and a great effort, and we don't do it just to grandstand. The whole point of it is to show transparency.
And multiple times, this board has facilitated video conferencing and in a board meeting, members who couldn't be present,
Absolutely.
and making that fit within the statute of the law to live.
This is the right thing.
But here's the other thing that the last thing I want to add, just because of my technology background and just seeing some of the things that's coming out on the market, I know that things are going to change. I don't think that there's a board member here who says no to the idea. I think what I'm hearing from the board is that we are doing everything to the extent of the law. And there's no reservation on taking it further, other than the fact that we don't know what's going to happen financially with the legislatures this year. We don't know. We don't know where that budget is going. So it is the job of the board to think consciously about where we spend those dollars. And if there had been even 200 people who said, yes, I have a need to see this, and to state why, then, you know, there would have been some accommodations. I don't think to the extent of the cost that has been brought to our attention, but there would have been something more put in place. But to, as they say, and that was the first question, who's been asking public relations, have you guys gotten any public information? Have you guys gotten any feedback? Have you gotten anything? We have Let's Talk on the websites and all of those different areas where we have individuals who can communicate. And I know it exists because at 2 in the morning, I'm out there saying, hey, where is this? I want to see it. So I wanted to know whether that existed. And the question came back, here's how we track it, and this is the numbers that we have. So I think that it would be almost foolish at this point when people are concerned about safety for their children, and we're worried about how we're going to educate all of the children that come to our front door. We're not turning anybody away. So I would, you know, if the board member decides later that they want to do that, or if the community comes out and they you know, this is not a district or a board that opposes the community. I think we're all ingrained here, we all live here, and we know what our neighbors are saying. So if it's more than, if we're ignorant to that, then I'm gonna say, hey, come and talk with us. We're not someone that's resistant. Come and talk with us. And I'm not someone that people cannot approach. As a board president, I have never been that person that you cannot talk to about that. So I was very disappointed that there was not a heads up. I get a heads up for so many other things. That was kind of shocking. So the response that the board is given is not one that's saying, no, we won't do that. We're saying that we have done the research, and our end of the research says that it's not something that feasible financially to do. So, yes, ma'am.
I do have a question. Was after the request at the prior meeting, was there a follow-up meeting with that individual?
No.
Okay.
So after that, since we've already done this many times before, hold on.
Sorry,
Okay.
I just, so that individual actually did come and he met with Mr. Eichhorn. And his question actually, at that time, it was more clarified that he was under the impression that we did not broadcast our board meetings at all. And so we clarified for him that, in fact, we do broadcast, we do record them, and we showed him the link so that he could see it. And he said, "Thank you very much for showing me. I was unaware." That was the end of the conversation.
I just wanted to make sure, or to, you know, for transparency, to say that you all were open and willing to meet with the individual afterwards, and in fact, that did happen, correct?
Correct.
That's all.
He was in a meeting with me on another totally different issue. And after the meeting, I said, "Give me a call or give us a meeting to call, which you know our number, so you guys talk to me."
So, thank you for this opportunity. Thank you, Mr. Wood, for, Mr. Woods, for collecting the information on it. And as I said, this is not something that we're saying no to. I want to publicly state it. I think streaming is a good idea. As a matter of fact, most of you who know me and the superintendents around Texas know that I stream live my church services on Sunday, Facebook. And I like the fact that people click, that they like what I'm posting. But when we post something as serious as board meetings where people are making decisions, there are some people who may not want to be streamed live. You know, we have had some comments about that. Some people who have decided that they don't want to do a paper presentation just because they know that they're going to be video recorded. So we have to be conscious all sides. You know, at the end of the day, as we state, this is a meeting of the board. And since it is that, when the state says that your board must do, we have complied with that. So I want to be very clear on that. Thank you. Thanks so much. Okay. On the next item that's on the agenda, that is our committees.